Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today because it's a fantastic day here, and I hope it is wherever you're at. Today I thought we'd do something that's just a little bit different, but as usual, let's start out and have them run all the colors across the screen. They'll come right there, and so you can paint along at home. Today I have an oval. This is an oval canvas, and you can purchase these at any art dealer in the country, I guess. It's just an oval canvas. Normally we make a lot of ovals and we use a contact paper. Today I thought we'd just make the oval itself. Something just a little more interesting. And it's very interesting when you hang these in your house. And they do make oval frames that fit these, so they're gorgeous. I've covered the entire little oval with a thin, even coat of liquid white. So it's all wet and ready to go. And let's just have some fun today. We'll start with our little 2-inch brush. I'm going to a small amount of the Indian yellow. Very, very small amount. I don't need much. Just tap the brush into a little bit. Okay, let's go up in here. Let's just make a little painting on this oval that's very warm. Let's just use all nice earth tones, browns, and a very, very warm little painting. It'll make you feel good. And that's what painting's all about. See, we'll just start out making a little doer like that. Take a little yellow ochre. I didn't clean the brush, a little yellow ochre. And we'll go right around that. We're making little tiny crisscross strokes because they're easier to blend out than if you just make a big circle. So make little crisscross strokes. Make your life easier. And we're looking for easy ways to paint here. We want things to work very, very easy. There. And you can take this out to wherever you want it. It's up to you. Totally and completely up to you. There we go, maybe about to there. We'll come back in a minute and blend all this together. There we are. We have something for the Museum of Modern Art already. We can stop right there. All right. Now then, I've made a brown color today by mixing alizarin crimson and sap green together in about equal proportions. And I just pre-mixed that to save a few minutes. But it's just these two colors mixed together. It makes a very warm brown. And you can take it to the reddish side or the greenish side, up to you. There we are. I sort of like mine to the reddish side a little bit once in a while, so if you want to add more, you can just reach over here and get a little of the red and add it right in there. Let's go up in here. Now around this edge, I'm just going to begin blending that same color all the way around, like that. All the way around, we don't care. Wherever. We'll go all the way out to let's go out to the edge of the canvas. Now make it just a little bit darker than you want it to be because it's going to continually mix with the liquid white that's on the canvas, and automatically your color is going to get a little bit lighter. There. Yeah, when I have that old brown on there, let's just do something like this. This is just the brown made from crimson and sap green. That's all it is. Not like it. That's what we're looking for. Now, fun time. Let me wash the old brush. I just like to wash the brush. Okay, and we wash our brush with odorless paint thinner. In the bottom of this little bucket here, there's a screen that I scrub the bristles against. That allows the solid materials to sort of settle to the bottom. Kick the bucket there. And if your solid material settle to the bottom, and it keeps your paint thinner relatively clean. Okay, I'm going to a little bit of titanium white, just on the corner of the brush. Start right here in the center and begin working around, all the way around. And work outward, continually blending outward. We start in the light area and work toward the dark. If you reverse that, you're going to lose your nice light area in the center. And you just blend this out till it's nice and smooth, and you can't tell where one color stops and the next color starts. There, something about like that. There we are. Okay. I'm just beating the brush to remove any excess paint off of it. Then we can blend the entire sky area. And we're basically in business. That's all I'm going to do for this little sky. It's very simple. It works well, and it's gorgeous. And we get to wash the brush again. That's really the most fun part of this whole technique. There. All right. Let's take a little brown That's the same brown we made. That's the only brown we're using today. It's just the crimson, sap green. Be right back. I'm going to get a little white and mix with it. So we make a light color brown. About like that, maybe a little more white. All right, let me wipe the knife. And today, I tell you, let's use a fan brush. I'm going to load both sides full of color. Just work it right through the paint. About like that. Let me get a little more white. I want that a little lighter. Yeah. Maybe even, shoot, let's get crazy. Add a little bit of yellow ochre to it. I like that better. It's warmer. Okay, let's go up in here. Now maybe in our world here, there's a little tree line, and it comes right here. And all we're going to do is just begin tapping the canvas. That's all there is to it. There. See? Just tap these in. Now I want them to just sort of disappear out here on the edge. The color is almost the same there. Almost the same. There we go. But all we're doing is just tapping downward with a fan brush. Very, very easy. Even if you've never painted, this one you can do. It's very easy little painting. Okay, a little more color. Maybe these go, we don't know. Going over here somewhere. You make the big decision. That's what's fun about painting, is you get to control complete whirls here. Okay, back to my 2-inch brush. Now all I want to do is just tap it. Tap it so this blends right out. You can even tap a little bit of titanium white on your brush. If you want to create a more distinct, misty area, tap it in. That easy. Up to you. Up to you. All right. Now, maybe in our world, you can get a little more of that brown on my brush. Maybe there's another layer of little trees and stuff that live back here in the background. As things get closer to you in the landscape, you want them to get darker and darker, so we just add a little more brown to that same color. Load the fan brush back up. Now, these trees in my mind are a little closer, so we're going to see more detail. Take the corner of the brush, just the corner, and begin working down the tree. Down, 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 like that. Just like that. And we just put in a few little indications here. Corner of the brush, as you work down, apply more and more pressure. You're bending the bristles downward, forcing them downward. There. Okay. Let's have one more. What the heck? Just make a little clump of trees here. And maybe in our world, you're right. There's one. You just decide where they live. Drop them in. Drop them in. There's another one. We'll turn the brush over, use the other side. You can use both sides. We're not concerned in here. All we're looking for is basic shape. Basic shape. Maybe there's a big one lives here. Big old strong tree. There he comes. They live right here in your fan brush. Sometimes you have to sort of scare them out. There we go. Shoot, it's working so well. No use stopping now. Once again, you decide how many trees live in your world. Maybe there's some little bushy areas back here. I'll take it, same color on the knife, and just put the indication of little things that are happening in between. This is how you turn a few trees into a lot of trees. There we go. Now we're not sure how many trees live in that clump. Same thing over here. Just here and there. Tell you what, let's go to the 2-inch brush. We'll go into some brown, a little white in it. Maybe in our world this comes, yep. Yep, you're right, right over like that. We'll need a little place for all those little trees to stand. And there it is. About like that. Okay, well we got that old brush going. I'm gonna go into a little yellow, get a little sap green on the brush. Same old brush, I haven't cleaned it. I want the colors to stay in the earth tone, so I don't want to get them too dark. I want them light, airy, when you do yours, you decide what color you want. Okay, let's go back up in here. Same old brush, and we'll just tap in some nice little highlights on this. Just nice little highlights. Yellow ochre, Indian yellow, cadmium yellow, little sap green, just whatever. You make the decision. There. I know. Sometimes you see things. If you had this little opening right here, you'd have to put a little cabin right there. Let's scrape out a basic little shape. There. And we scrape it just to remove excess paint. Give us a general idea of where we're going. And we'll take a little brown and let's begin. Let's begin figuring out all of our little angles. There we are. Over on this side, maybe it comes out here like that. I don't know, it's up to you. Down under here, here we are. And then down, at this point, you're not committed. I know, maybe, yep, let's get crazy. Maybe there's maybe a little shed on this cabin. You need a place to put your tools, right there. Or your fishing tackle. I'd rather put my fishing tackle in there. All right, we'll take a little of that brown. Let's get some bright red. Nice color. Nice color, just makes you feel good. Bright red, white, a little of that brown we made. Don't overmix it. Leave it marbledy, if that's a word. Cut off a little roll of paint. And let's go up here and just let that bounce right down the side. Just so it looks like maybe old shingles that are falling off the roof. Times are hard out here. Real hard. There. I like to make old buildings and stuff that look like they've had a rough life. There. Okay. Maybe, I tell you what, take a little white, a little bit of that brown without the red in it. And with that, let's just put the indication of some highlights there. And a little bit more in there. Making the front a little brighter so it stands out. Wipe off the old knife. And you take a little of that brown paint on the edge of the knife and just make it look like old boards that live in there. See there? Just old boards. Now, back to our roof color, and let's put a roof right here on this little shed. See? Got to make those little noises or it doesn't work. Just brown and white again. Need a little bit out there. We'll put some little boards in there, like that. Shoot, that's about to give us a basic little shape here. About there. And then you can just use the brush to cut off wherever you want it. Like there. I'll tell you what, let's take a little brown on the small edge of the knife. Just put a little window in there. Maybe one right there. That easy. That easy. All right, back to all of our little colors. Just begin working it down like that. Take old 2-inch brush, a little bit of that brown on it, and here and there we can just tap in using the top corner. Indication of some little bushes that live in there. Wherever. There. Very soft, very gentle. Now then, back to my brush, it has some of that brown we made on it. Let's pull this straight down. We'll make a little reflection right there in the water. There, straight down though. It's most important that it goes straight down and then go across. Creates that illusion of a reflection that lives right there, that easy. That easy. Well, while we got that old brown brush going here, you ready? Maybe in our world there lives just a big old, ooh, there goes my nice evergreen. But it's not wasted because we learned how to make them. So anytime you learn, it certainly is not failure. There. All right. See, just use the top corner of that old brush. We can tap in the indication here and there. Just a big old tree that lives out here. Down in here, I'm going to go into a little bit of the midnight black. I want it to be darker in here. Deep shadow. Deep shadow in there. Maybe it comes all the way down. I don't know. You make the decision. There. Let's bring it all the way down into the front. It's our world, and we can do anything here that we want to do. This is that brown we made with just a little black in it to darken it. All right. And this painting, one thing I like about it, it uses a very limited palette. By limited palette, that means very, very few colors. Very few colors. It's not something you have to have a million colors to do. There. You can do this one very easy. I'm going to take a liner brush, go into a little bit of dark with one side, and let's see. Let me get a little liquid white up here. Okay, a little of the dark color. Then one side of it only, throw a little bit of light color. We can go in here, and this just creates indication of little stones, thin paint. And it's just like we do with a little filbert, only you can do it with a liner, and it looks like little stones that live all back in here. Tiny little things. There. Okay, let's take well, I got a number 3 fan brush here. We'll load one side with dark. Then I'll come right over here, get a little of the light color on one side only. So I got light, dark. Let's go up in here. Maybe we can make out the indication of a few little tree trunks that live back in here. Just here and there. There's a few. Just a few little happy things. Back to our liner brush, and I'm adding paint thinner, because a thin paint, as you know, will go over the top of a thick paint without mixing so bad. Turn that brush, it brings it to a nice sharp point. Holds a lot of paint. See there, you can see it. Okay? Now with that, we can go back in here and put the indication of a few old limbs and branches that live out in our world. Just a few, here and there. Some of them show, some of them don't. It's up to you. And, shoot, I'll just use the old 2-inch brush. It didn't make any difference. Whatever works for you. A little bit of green, sap green, a little bit of yellow. A little yellow ochre, but mostly in the yellows. Okay, let's go up in here. Well, maybe back in here we'll just tap in indication of just a few highlights on some of these trees. Don't want much. This is in the background. Just a few little things. A few little things. All right. That's probably about enough for that, because I'm going to put some trees, I think, in the foreground. Get a little paint thinner on there. I'm going to thin that. Let's go into some yellow. We use some cadmium yellow. All right. See, all I'm doing is tapping the corner. You can see it very close. That's a beautiful close-up shot. Thanks, Kathy. All right. Let's go right up in here. And maybe right here lives a little bush. If you have trouble making the paint stick, all you need to do is add a little bit of paint thinner. A little bit of paint thinner. Doesn't take much. Or liquid white. So you can dip it in the liquid white. Now the liquid white, let's just do it. It'll make it a little bit brighter. There. All right, I think it's time for a bravery test. You ready? All right, let's go into straight brown, that brown that we made. I'm gonna put a little black in there too. I want it dark and strong, a lot of paint on the brush. Whew. All right, here's your bravery test. Ooh, that's scary, isn't it? Isn't that scary? You worked on that so long and so hard, and then some crazy guy tells you just to draw a big old tree right there. 2 of them. I like 2. He needs a friend. There. All right, we'll take a little touch of the white, and Light seems to be coming from the left in this painting, so we'll take and give it a little pull. We'll make this a little birch tree, something about like that. Titanium white. You can put a little brown in it if you want to, so it follows along with everything else in the painting. A little bit on this tree. Here we go. There. And sometimes you can see a little reflected light on the other side. It's okay. You make it any way you want it. Now then, back to our liner brush. A little bit of the brown. Needs to be very, very thin though, so it'll flow right across there. A lot of paint in the brush. All right, let's go up in here. Maybe there's a big old limb that lives. Yep, you're right out here. There we go. Let's see, this one needs an arm on him too. We don't want him left out. That old tree's got to have an arm on him. Reach up here and gather the sunlight. Birds got to have a place to sit too. Shoot, you don't want them out here with no place to sit. All right. And when you do yours, you put as many limbs on your tree as you want. I think today I'll use the old oval brush. We'll put a little sap green on it, maybe even a little of that brown to dull it. Then we'll go into our yellows. Here it is. There. Little green, little yellow ochre. All the yellows. Give it a little push. That loads a little ridge of paint right on the end. And we can go up in here and we can just touch the canvas and tap in the indication of some little leaves that live out here. There, see? You decide where and how many. All right. Super little thing. That's all there is to it. Little oval brush works so good for these kind of things. Yeah, we can go right back in. I'm going to use the old 2-inch brush. That's working pretty good. Put a little paint thinner on it. Just the top corner. And let's put the indication here and there and there and here. Get a little red in there too. Of just some little bushes that live all out in here. Do one little bush at a time. Don't get in a hurry. One little bush at a time. Just let these little rascals go. There's another one. See, by doing one at a time, it creates the illusion of depth and distance in your painting. I add a little sap green in there. Make a little darker color when it lives right in there. Something like so. And this is a good way to clean up the foots of those trees. You just put a little bush in front of them and then they fit. Then they fit. Let's have some fun today. Every once in a while you need to get crazy. Put a little liquid white on the canvas. There. Maybe, and I'm really not a floral painter, but maybe there's a few little daisies out here. We need a net here to paint florals. Our partner Annette's one of the best floral painters in the country. Whew. I'm gonna get her on here one day. We'll have her just do some flowers, let you see how easy they can be. There. All right. And you put as many as you want in there. Just some little indications though. Look like little daisies or something that live out here. And these are so simple to do. Anybody can do these little rascals. And we take a little red and yellow, mix it together, make it look like orange. And we just touch each one right in the center. Give the indication of a little center button in the daisies. A little bit of brown here and there. We can put in some sticks and twigs. Something about like that. And you can always take the knife and cut in sticks just by scraping through the paint wherever you think they should live. Shoot, I think we about got a little finished painting here. It's a very simple little painting, and on the oval, it makes it very unique. It's a wonderful gift to give to friends and relatives. Hope you try this one. You'll enjoy it, make you happy. We'll sign it, call it complete. From all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting. Thank you for being with us today, and God bless, my friend.